All right, so talk about an awe-inspiring, moving, and really just an emotionally enriching environment to be in. I am talking about the Autism Black Conference, and I'm here to give you my recap from the eyes of an organizer, speaker, more importantly, a community member, right? Let's wrap, right? So again, yours truly, Dr. Barry Pierre, favorite board certified internist, host of Medicine Mondays, host of the Lunch Learn with Dr. Barry, and I had such an amazing time this weekend, y'all, because I got to, again, not only speak at the Autism Black Conference, but I also happen to be the organizer, right? So I have a little bit of a vested interest in it, right? So let's talk about it. It's one of these weekends, right, that it's gotten to the point that people circle their calendar around. And if you would have asked me 4 years ago, hey, that conference that you're thinking about doing that you don't even know if anyone will show up, it's going to get to the point where people have to circle their, almost like a vacation. All right, yep, this is the weekend Autism Black is going down. I need to make sure I'm free and available. That's just mind blowing to me. I'll be honest. It is mind-blowing to me, so still thinking about it. But after leaving now the 4th annual conference, I am now convinced more than ever, right? I'm convinced more than ever that is probably one of the best decisions that me and my wife ever did, right? Let's start from the organizing standpoint, right? First and foremost, let me give a shout out to our sponsors. Amazon.com came down as the title sponsor for the conference, did a phenomenal job really helping to lay the foundation and set the groundwork for what would be, again, it's not my words, I'm taking the community members' words, the best conference they've ever been to. Shout out to Amazon.com. Next, our Arlen Hamilton with HigherRunner.co did a phenomenal job, not only making sure that the foundation continued to be set, but said, you know what? A part of my package, give tickets away. Because I need people to be at this conference. It's the first time I have a sponsor, but to have a sponsor say, hey, I want you to give tickets away, because that's how much of an importance I feel that your conference will be to people and people's lives. Whew. So shout out to Arlen Hamilton, HigherRunner.co. And last but not least, Grant Makers for Girls of Color. And I will put their links in description in the show notes. So you'll have a link in description in the show notes. We were able to give some of her books away from the founder. But again, just pivotal moments in our process of creating, which again, empowering the Black side of autism, bridging the gap. Again, shout out to the sponsors, man. You guys are absolutely amazing. Shout out to the speakers. Woo! Now, again, I'm a speaker. I was a speaker, and I'll talk a little bit about my sessions that I had, but shout out to the speakers as well, because the job that you guys are doing, I was telling my wife, I said, oh man, some of these speakers, they're going to get so big, I don't know if they're going to answer our phone calls anymore. The job that our speakers did this weekend, the love that they were able to pour out into the hearts of the community, whew. So if you're an organization looking for phenomenal speakers, just check our speaker list from our agenda and start reaching out to them, because, beautiful. And last but not least, we got to shout out the community members. We had almost about 400 people show up to a virtual conference. 400 people. Even when I think about it, I'm like, wow, this is wild, especially when I look back and I say, you know what? 4 or 5 years ago, when I would say, hey, we should do a conference. And my wife was like, conference? Why would we do a conference? Who would come to our conference? This is what we were thinking. And to fast forward and think 4 years later, we can get about 400 people to come out and not come out. They're in the comfort of their home or work or wherever they're at. We had someone from Australia show up, people from across the United States. The time frames we started, and we're in Florida, right? There's people in California checking in, Arizona checking in, Washington checking in, DC checking in, right? New York checking in, Georgia, any state. I think every single state was actually represented. In fact, that's something we should look for. We'll check. And like I said, we had someone in Australia who was checking in. I think it was 3 a.m, y'all. 3 a.m, because they felt they had to be at this conference at this time to be in a place of love and safety, right? Just beautiful. Absolutely phenomenal. And again, we are going to have Maria come on the show next week. Remember, she came on a few episodes ago, just kind of leading up to the conference. And we were telling y'all, hey, this is going to be a good one. And again, if you ask me, again, you don't even have to ask me. You guys may think I'm biased, right? And I understand that. I'll take that on the chin. If you think I'm a little biased talking about the Autism and Black conference, but if you talk to the community members, they'll tell you that it was the best conference they've ever been in their life. So not my words, their words. I'm just regurgitating what the community members said, right? So yeah, we will have her on the show so we can get her thoughts on the conference next week. But going back, right? So from an organizing organization standpoint, understanding that we don't have like a huge team that are doing this. A lot of you know me as Dr. Davis-Pierre, the internist, the podcast, the vlog. Y'all know me as that, right? And it typically is medical, because I'm a tech nerd. So I do a lot of technical related things when I'm in my Autism in Black hat. Of course, the Lunch and Learn community may not like it as much because if you follow me on other my social media platforms, you see that my activity kind of decreases a little bit, but it's only because I have to make sure the focus is where the focus needs to be. So if you're one of my TikTokers, YouTubers, you expect to see more content moving forward because I don't have to worry about a conference anymore, right? So expect that to come. Organization standpoint, me and Maria, Cori, whose company has been absolutely amazing, especially from a social media marketing perspective. And she was a moderator for the conference. So she was there with every lecture, getting the questions, following. Just shout out to Cori, right? Shout out to Cori Fonville. I'll put her information in the description as well, too, especially if you're looking for a great social media marketing team and whatnot. This is what you came for, right? Let's talk about what Dr. Barry had to do with it, right? So I had the opportunity to host and moderate the Black Fathers panel. And if you are in the autism space, you know that a lot of the forefront and people on the forefront, rightfully so. I want to make sure I clarify that. Rightfully so. Typically, the women are in the front at the school board meetings, at the IP meetings, making sure their child gets everything they're supposed to get. And a lot of times the fathers are there, but usually kind of a shadowy background support. I've been saying that for years. I think a lot of people kind of get surprised when they realize like the stuff that I typically do with Autism in Black, because a lot of times, I'm just pushing my wife out there. Like, no, it's my wife. My wife is like, let my wife handle it. My wife will take care of it. But we got to host a panel of Black fathers giving their personal experience. And when I tell you that thing was phenomenal, when I tell you hearing, I think it was 6 different perspectives, 6 different stories, 6 different journeys from the father's perspective was so moving. Like the chats were going crazy. People were loving it. People were probably crying at home. Again, I'm just being hyperbolous, right? But it wouldn't be me if I wasn't a little bit of hyperbolous, right? But just seeing that phenomenal reception and thinking back that when I had my presentation a couple years prior, I think the second conference, and I talked about escaping the clouds, right? Like getting through the clouds of my autism journey and knowing that that's sparked someone in the audience to say, hey, you know what? If Dr. Pierre is willing to talk about his experience and his experience sounds a lot like mine, I need to talk about my experience as well too. So phenomenal job. And then I also did a parenting session from the Black father's perspective as well too, because I wanted to keep the theme like, hey, I'm speaking from the Black father's perspective. Just like when we talk about autism in Black, we are speaking from the Black perspective in autism journey. We want to make sure that does not get erased. And we want to make sure it's highlighted that it is definitely different. Despite what they may say on the ads that I run, it's definitely different to walk this journey as a Black family when you're thinking about autism. Like regardless of, the whole, there's no color in autism, that's a lie. Right. So I wanted to make sure I kept the theme up with the Black fathers and thinking about parenting from the Black father's perspective. Right. So we hit a home run with those presentations and I'm excited for what's to come. And I'm going to talk about it when I summarize, my thoughts at the end, but absolutely phenomenal. And now when I talk about the community perspective, right, because again, not only am I the organizer, making sure, people are checked in, people are registered, people are in the spots they need to be in, making sure that, the audio is working, making sure that they can see, like all those things that you do from the technical side, which again, like I said, I love when I'm talking about Autism in Black because I get to put that hat on. But to think about now going from the speakers and seeing that reception that I got, and then being able to go in and just be a community member and just say hi to community members. Good morning to community members. See how they are absorbing the information throughout the presentations was just again beautiful to see. The platform we use has a lot of community building processes kind of built in where you can like post photos and captions and you can have prizes. Like I swear me and Maria were like Oprah at the end of the conference. We were just giving away t-shirt tickets and all these things there to those who were so active because we just had to do so. Like again, just beautiful thoughts, right? Just associated with all different facets, right? And again, this is the only conference that I'm an organizer in, right? So this is our 4th one. We're still learning every single year how to make it better. And when we have Maria on next week, we'll talk about how we plan on making 2025 better, right? So we'll have her to kind of give us some game on that. But it's just beautiful to kind of see how on all 3 different levels, the amount of love and appreciation and just the emotional recharging that you can can get being at a conference like this. And it's much different than any conference I go to. I go to lots of different conferences. I go to conferences for medical stuff. I go to conferences for tech related stuff, even YouTube stuff. Shout out to my YouTubers. Make sure you subscribe. And still seeing that, like, you know what? This conference just feels different. I'm just glad that I'm a part of it. Yeah, I am just glad I'm a part of it. So my thoughts, right, when I think about what can I take away from a conference like this, obviously, just the beauty in it, the community in it. But I'm really going to, and you're going to see a shift from me, right? Especially making sure that I'm continuing to highlight our Black fathers in this autistic community and give them a voice and give them some representation. Like I said, you're going to see a couple of our panel members here on the podcast. If they want to join the podcast, I'm going to ask them. I'm going to ask them nicely. I might twist a little arm or two. I think we can get them because I think it's going to be important for that highlighting to continue, and to the point where I don't want people to be surprised, right, that we have a panel and that we're able to get 6 fathers to come on there, right? I want them to kind of expect it. I want them to say, hey, if you're thinking about autism in Black, I know the mothers are going to be representative, but I for sure know the fathers are definitely going to be represented because Dr. Pierre is going to make sure that's the case, right? That's my goal. That's my wheel that is continued to spin even after conference is over, right? Like, how can I make sure that the vision is continue to matter, right? Like, we're making sure that the caretakers, the therapists, the social workers, the schools, everyone is aware that autism in Black needs to be seen through a different lens. And we are the glasses that's going to help you see it. Because right now, for a lot of different organizations and schools and IEP meetings across the country, it's a little blurry when we talk about autism in Black. It's blurry. I know it is. Trust me. I hear the testimonials over and over and over again. But we want Autism in Black, the organization and our foundation, to serve as the glasses, the bifocals, the reading glasses, whatever. However you want to put it. We want to serve as, you know what? I wasn't seeing very well, or I was one of those people that thought autism, there was no color in autism. We want to make sure Autism in Black, right, becomes those reading glasses for you to open your eyes up. Right. Like, again, we're excited. Like I said, I'm going to be highlighting fathers to a different level. It's going to be my little mini mission within the Autism in Black space to make sure, like, I do so, right? If I just do a small thing, I want to make sure that the fathers are continuing to be represented in the light that they need to be represented. Because I think, and I know it's so important, because the reception that I get every time fathers are highlighted, like, it just continues to amaze me and lets me know, like, okay, yeah, we got some work to do. And like I said, I'm excited for it, y'all. So again, depending on when you're watching this, right? In fact, the link should stay the same, right? Go to autisminblack.org/conference 2024 to get an opportunity to get the replays of the conference, right? And you get them for life. Go ahead and pick those up so you can understand, you don't want to be selfish and only want to look at my presentation. I won't be mad at you. I won't be mad. I won't be mad if you say, you know what, I'm only getting these replays so I can see Dr. Barry's presentation, right, and his panel. I won't be mad, right? I won't tell my wife, but I won't be mad if you do so, right? So like I said, it was a beautiful weekend, and I'm just ready to continue to work, not only for you guys here in the Lunch and Learn community, but also those in the Autism Black community. I think that's a community that can be married together as well. Right. So y'all be blessed. Have a great week. And next week, we are going to have the CEO of Autism Black, Maria Davis-Pierre. Thank you.